previous video, I used the improved Laravel Eloquent model accessor to enable the IPFS link build. So the code is much cleaner. Today I'm going to talk about both accessor and the mutator in Laravel 9, which is improved. Let's review what I have done in the accessor and how to use the accessor, and demonstrate how we can define a mutator in a cleaner way or in Laravel 9. Let's look into the implementation. So this is the accessor I have implemented on the attribute IPFS link. So I wrap the link build logic here. It's done based on the CID of a CID record. So this model maps to the table's CID records. So ignore this row here. I'm going to delete. This is just for testing purpose. Okay, so this is the accessor. How about mutator? A mutator transforms an eloquent attribute value when set. So the typical use case here is, imagine when you want to write or store some email address to database. Typically we want to transform it into lowercase no matter what user input. So in this use case we can use mutator to easily transform user input into user lowercase before storing to database. So in this case, let's make some requirement. So you can see for each CID record there's a name. I also want to transform the name to lowercase before storing to database. What can we do? How to define a mutator in Laravel 9? Firstly, as we want to define a mutator on attribute name, so we need to define a protective function named with name. So it's a bit confusing here. So this is the attribute you want to define the mutator. It also needs to return an attribute type value. So here we're going to make an attribute. Instead of get, we define set. This is where we define the mutator, as it's a simple function call to transform to lowercase. So we use arrow function. If you're not familiar, check out PHP arrow function for more details here. String to lower. So the value here of the closure will be given the name attribute of each record. So when the name attribute is set, the mutator will be called. Okay, this is a mutator. Now I'm going to do something in the API root and show you how it will work. Say I'm going to define new root called record create or random. Okay, here I'm going to create a record CID ABC name. Remember here we are going to give it some uppercase string, say uppercase name. Okay, so this is how I can create a record. and return the record here. In theory, I should expect lowercase in the response. So let's make the API call from the Postman. It's pretty straightforward. Record random send. Now you can see the name is lowercase. It has been mutated by the mutator before storing to database. We can see in the database it's also being lowercase. So this is a mutator, pretty straightforward. The other way to make the change to the attribute is use the property. Alright, so I say another uppercase name, and we call save. So this is how we change the name using the property here. And now let's make the API call again. As we make the call, we should see a new entry, another entry with this name. Now let's see. API call another uppercase name. See in the database, there should be a new row here. Yes, so this is how we can use a mutator. Sometimes you may want to use multiple attributes of a record to mutate. So pretty similar to the accessor, you can use the second parameter of the callback function or closure function. So what you can use is here the attribute. Probably you can say you want to change it with attribute CID. Now let's see what you will see. So ideally in the response, you should see the name concatenated with the CID. Now let's make the API call. You can see this is what you should see in database as well. Let me refresh. Yes. So this is how you can use multiple attributes of a record to mutate. Okay, I think that's it for today. This is a pretty straightforward introduction to the Laravel 9 new features, the improved accessor and the mutator. So if you want to learn more details about the old version of Laravel and its accessor and the mutator implementation, check out the old documentation, old version of the documentation. I think that's it for today. It's pretty cleaner now with Laravel 9. Okay, this is just for demonstration purpose. It doesn't make too much sense with such kind of mutator in an application. Okay, I'll see you next time. Thanks. If you feel it's useful, do remember to thumbs up and subscribe to the channel. Thank you. Bye-bye.